Learned that the loudest people are often the most fragile. They need applause. They need agreement. They need to be seen. I needed none of it. While they argued, I observed. While they judged, I calculated. While they celebrated their voices, I sharpened my silence. They thought they had power because they spoke without resistance. They didn't realize resistance was growing in the quiet. I wasn't silent because I was empty. I was silent because I was full of memory, full of clarity, full of restraint. And restraint, when broken, becomes something violent. I didn't disappear, I withdrew. There's a difference. One is defeat, the other is preparation. I let the world believe its own story about me, that I was harmless, that I was finished, that I didn't matter. And while they spoke freely, I decided carefully. My silence stopped being a shield. It became a choice, a deliberate one, because I understood something they never will. The loudest response isn't always spoken. Sometimes it arrives later. Sharper, heavier, impossible to ignore, and by the time they hear it, it's already too late. The noise of betrayal. Everyone has an opinion when you're bleeding. Everyone has an opinion when you're bleeding. When you're on the ground, suddenly they're experts. Experts on what you should have done. Experts on what you deserve. Experts on why this is somehow your fault. They don't help. They comment. They don't reach out. They point. Pain becomes entertainment when it's not happening to them. They gather around suffering like it's a performance. They wait for the moment you crack. They wait for proof that you're weaker than they are. And if you don't give it to them, they get angry, because your composure insults their hunger. Friends become spectators, allies become critics. People who once stood beside you now stand back, arms crossed, watching to see how far you'll fall. I felt it. The shift. The moment warmth turned into curiosity. The moment support turned into observation. The moment empathy turned into distance. They wanted me broken, but not gone. Broken enough to confirm their superiority. Broken enough to make themselves feel safe. Because nothing scares insecure people more than someone who suffers quietly. They whispered about me while smiling to my face. They dissected my pain in rooms I wasn't invited into. They turned my struggle into conversation. And the worst part, they thought I couldn't hear them. They thought silence meant ignorance. They thought I was too busy surviving to notice the knives sliding between my ribs. I noticed everything. I noticed who asked questions just to collect information. I noticed who offered help just to feel important. I noticed who enjoyed watching me bleed a little longer. Pain teaches you that. Pain removes illusions. When you're hurting, masks slip. Voices reveal intention. Laughter exposes cruelty. And suddenly you see people clearly, not as they present themselves, but as they are when they think you're powerless. They talked, I remembered, they laughed, I endured, they judged every step I took, every pause, every decision made under pressure they never felt. And through it all, they kept asking the same question: why don't you say anything? Because words were wasted on people who already decided my ending. I wasn't bleeding for their understanding. I was bleeding into something sharper, something patient. Something dangerous. They spoke. I absorbed. They spoke without restraint. Opinions poured out of them like confession. Criticism fell from their mouths without consequence.